The secret to drawing the driver ultimately comes into the backswing position, and most golfers that I meet for golf lessons, whether it be people that come through that door or online students, they're generally suffering with the backswing position in terms of rotation and a little bit of arm structure, but mainly rotational movement. Golfers tend to underestimate the importance of this position and think it's all about dropping the club down and rolling their arms, when actually if you get your backswing wrong, you have no hope of achieving either of those. So the first thing that we need to understand is when we're trying to hit the driver, we need to have a tilted spine, okay? So when we get set up, we do things like move the golf ball further forward, and this helps us kind of strike more up in the ball, and it also emphasizes this spine tilt. Don't force this, by the way. Don't start going too much this way. Just literally be aware of, this is a tilted spine, this would be a vertical spine, like so. So you concentrate just on looking at the back portion of the golf ball. Now, when we hit the golf ball, or even when we sort of start the downswing, we want to make sure that we have this tilted spine, because it will help me hit up on the ball, but also from the sidearm perspective, if my spine is too vertical, that would affect the delivery on the club. But also, if I show you from this sidearm perspective, if I demonstrate a tilted angle, vertical spine, tilted spine, vertical spine. Do you see, it also has this ability to help you shallow the golf club naturally without you forcing it in some sort of arm change. So we need to understand the importance of the tilt. And with driver, what we want to do is therefore make sure that we rotate around a good tilted axis. Now, the easiest way to do this, I would say, is to just literally practice placing the club across your shoulder, and then just place an alignment stick somewhere within inside a club head's distance on your trail ankle. And I say somewhere because there are options here. You might choose to practice where you like the idea of your upper body moving a bit more to your trail side. Some golfers like to feel like they stay a little bit more centralized. But what I'm trying to say with driver is we have to allow the upper body to move slightly towards the right, because it helps us produce this tilt, which is so influential towards our delivery on the club. So I would say anywhere between a club head's distance in line of that right ankle would be suffice. And all you would do is you just literally try now to, the key thing is you want to rotate. So see the way that my golf club now is matched up to the line that I drew. Now, there's a big difference between this motion and this motion, okay? You don't want to allow your head to move. If you allow your head to move, you're not really rotating, you're just sort of moving off towards the right side. You want to rotate, so we feel like the rotation comes around the pelvis, around the chest, and around the spine. So it creates a much better rotation. Now, the thing is, you see, when we rotate, so my spine is rotating around, all little facets are moving around. So what will happen is that my head will move, but it moves in terms of it becomes rotated itself. We're not trying to consciously move it. So I think that's what I'm trying to say is a big difference when I meet students that are often trying to hit driver. They'll do things like move off the ball because they think that's the correct thing to do to hit up on it. And what I'm trying to say is, yes, your head will move slightly to your trail side for a couple of reasons. One, because we're trying to move the upper body slightly in that direction to produce this tilt. But the second thing is that it'll become changed its orientation because of the rotation. So as I rotate here, 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 and around my spine, my head will move. Unless you have ridiculous neck mobility, which don't suggest, you see my head becomes slightly tilted. And I think that's a key thing, because my last point here is that's the simple drill that you can practice to identify whether you're moving correctly. But what I would also say very, very quickly is that what will happen is if you are in an incorrect position, so if you're somebody who generally does things like sort of, standing up or moving this way, and you start to rotate correctly, what will happen is that it will change your perspective of the golf ball in terms of how it looks. And that's certainly something that you want to be experimenting with. So have a go, let me know, do the drill, and you can always let me know your feedback, but it will make a big, big difference, and it's a simple little tip.